mics.
Hot mics.
All in the same studio.
I love it. I love being back in studio, baby.
Yep.
Here, give me my shot first before anything.
I'm going to turn that back up. Well,
Yeah, get it going.
Yeah.
Philly sucks, baby.
Philly sucks.
Philly sucks. What up, fellas? We back, baby. We are back up in the hizzy. These Sunday episodes, I'm digging them.
Yeah, I like to call them Sunday services.
I like that. That's good. That's funny. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well. I went and saw John Wick 4 alone.
Crack
Crack him if you got him for that solo show.
Crack him if you got him. I know. Well, now that Adam is...
Crack him, baby. Crack him if you got him, son.
Crack him if you got him, son. Now that Adam cares more about his kids than me.
Well, yeah, before you talk about the movie, so we're doing this is a weird time for us. And give us, before AJ gives his, I know AJ has a little story, so we're going to do a little story time. Why are we early today?
Okay, so
why are we only going to be, we're very cut and dry today. It's like a 45 minute, 50 minute run time.
That's right.
Yep.
No matter what.
Before I say, I'm going to say what up, Dallas Cowboys Chris, who's in the chat.
What up, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
You know what? Let's get Chris on a Sunday episode.
We got to. Next Sunday, Chris, you want in? Just say, type F in the chat. I always see that on
Chris
Reddit.
says, I made the intro, crack 'em. So
Yes.
I also would love for Chris to join us in our big war room.
Oh, yes.
Pre-draft. If he's available.
Draft day, yes, draft day.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to have a lot of people floating in and out on the April 27th to April 30th draft live stream extravaganza.
Yeah.
So,
and then
definitely.
I also want to say a big shout out to Levi, who's been in the chat saying he's subscribed on all the electronics.
Dog.
Thanks, Levi.
love it. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, Levi.
Send nudes to the DM.
Levi, I just said your name.
Hey, and I just want to say this too before we're gonna keep doing this
Okay, so-
for 40 minutes. One last thing. If you haven't liked and subscribed, we're really trying to push this 7K marker right now.
We're
We were
close.
just talking about it. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do that. Okay, Adam, the floor is yours.
My 10-year-old is at QB camp and wide receiver camp today, so you gotta make time.
Oh, he's playing Huck'em Chuck'em football
Yeah,
to
because
himself?
I was saying to the guys, family knows that on season Sundays, any Cowboy game days, like if they play on Christmas Day, guess what? We're all wearing.
live streaming.
We're there. So it's Cowboys take precedence during season. Family takes precedence off season on Sundays.
fair.
That's it.
Hey,
I like
we
it.
want Riker. It's Riker, right? Or is it Mav?
Riker. Thanks for doxing my family, though, dog.
Well, have we not said it before? Okay.
Kid one
As
and
I
kid-
said both of them, I was
Kid
like,
one
okay,
and
well,
kid two.
docs. No, well, if one of them I'm pro this because if they keep playing well and get to the NFL, they could be a DiNucci status.
Oh, yeah.
Someday, and we're
Seattle Dragon.
and we're going down to watch them play for the Seattle Dragons. So
Yep.
Sea Dragons, sorry.
We got to
Put
do the
respect on
Sea
their
Dragons. We're going to go some Oregon Ducks.
names. Yep, definitely.
Levi's a linebacker, and he says, let's get that 7K. So, Levi, tell all of your friends.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Appreciate it.
follow.
well, let's give you a show worth subscribing for.
Yeah, fuck me. We're just talking about.
Yeah, well, these Sunday services are a little bit loose.
Yeah, let's break down this QB wide receiver camp ad. Who's out there on the... No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I went to John Wick 4 alone.
Okay, like it. Like this. I like where the story's going already.
Yeah.
I go and sit in the back because that way I can vape and no one's going to complain. If I vape in the front, then my smoke can get up and people might say something. So I
Right.
like to sit in the back. Well,
Nosebleeds.
I'm nosebleeding.
Yeah, that's why we only go to nosebleeds in Cowboys games.
Yeah,
also,
yeah, exactly,
right?
exactly.
So AJ can vape in
not
his shirt.
It's certainly not the extreme cost of moving anywhere. One seat closer goes up $1,000. But it's okay. We like to be right on the border there, the border of economic success. We're just on the other side looking over the fence. But I go to the movie, sit in the back so I can vape alone. John Wick 4 starts playing, and about 2 or 3 minutes in, so I'm like just getting in, eating my popcorn, drinking my soda, popping my M&Ms in my mouth all at once. Just
So are you still doing M&Ms and popcorn at the same time? So you take a
M&M almonds too.
Okay, sweet.
Made that
Okay.
upgrade. And this guy, I kind of only see him at the last minute, obviously, but he walks in and kind of drops this dude off in the row, and he comes and sits down, and then the other guy walks away. So I got this now dude sitting like uncomfortably close to me in an open theater.
Empty theater.
fairly empty enough that he could have moved a row ahead and we would have had some space.
I hate that so much.
So I'm like, fucking dude. And this guy starts like tweaking and looking around and like and the guy doesn't come back. So I'm like at first thinking, oh, they're friends and he came and sat down to drop him off. Now I'm thinking, was this guy tweaking somewhere and this guy just came and dropped him off on this seat and now he went and sat back down. So now he gave me the problem. And the guy's kind of acting weird and he's making me stop focusing on the movie and I'm like missing kind of these key moments of the plot setting up, and I'm getting pissed off and angry, and I'm getting on the verge of being like, hey, buddy, can you go sit in the seat? Like ask him to move away from me. You're bugging, or like, and he's sitting forward too, looking around. So he's like in the vision of my screen. All these things are annoying me and pulling me out of the movie. Well, eventually the guy comes back and sits down and he's with a group of 4 people. So they were probably just arranging, but this guy
what was the attendance so far? Like what like how many people do you think
are in there?
Yeah.
Well, say it's say it's 100 seats. I don't know how many seats are in a theater. 50 seats. There's like
10% were full.
15,
okay.
20 people, like enough that everyone's split out, and there's a lot of groups.
Okay. I just want to know capacity.
Yeah, if it was like full, then so be it.
When you said solo movie, I thought you were in the theater by yourself. And
no.
Came in. Sorry. Okay.
No. There are pockets of people.
No, solo as in he had no one else to go to a movie with.
Yeah, I went alone, like a loner. I don't tell anyone that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, sorry.
But people come and sit down, and this guy calms down finally. And so obviously the scenario was that I decipher as I'm now paying attention to trying to decipher what's in front of me with the scenario. The dude is with his buddy and probably a third friend who has a girlfriend, and she brought a friend. So the sketchy dude who came and sat down wanted to sit by the girl. And so he was looking around trying to be like, am I in the seat that's going to give me the best opportunity that she has to come sit by? Like he was very smart on his, and I'm making this up right now. I don't know if that's true. But long story short, as in true AJ fashion, what does this mean for Cowboys Nation? They need to stay focused on the prize. They can't miss the plot points in the movie. They need to stay focused on what they're going to deliver, and that includes our Twitter conversation. You made a post about Bijan.
I did. So before I get into that, I'm saying that it was immoral to you. You were kind of letting the outside noise drown you a little bit when you need to be paying attention to the goddamn movie, Alex.
What's the goal?
What's the goal? The goal is you went to a movie to watch. You went to a movie to watch a movie, and you were worried about some guy that you thought was on methamphetamine.
Yes.
He was just waiting to get a chick beside him.
He's just waiting to get a little bit of a stink finger.
Yeah. So no, but jumping into through the popcorn.
Yeah.
So
his wiener sticky.
The wiener sticky. And hey, you want some popcorn? So extra butter. So I made a post yesterday on the Twitter. I don't know if you're able to get that up. And it was about us possibly having the chance to draft Bijan Robinson at 26, which to me, I'll give some backstory into my thoughts. So I wrote, running back in the first round is bad value. I had that in quotations. If, and it's a big if, Bijan is available at 26, it's a home run, no-brainer pick. Top 5 talent in the draft and will instantly make the team that drafts him better. That's all I wrote. I didn't even say that the Cowboys need to take him. I said it's a no-brainer pick. And let's just say this. The Twitter sphere is not digging running back at 26.
That is true.
So, and I get the whole running back at 26. The value of running backs is dropping, but everyone preaches this best player available, and everyone also preaches best player available at position. Is running back not a position of need right now? We have Tony Pollard, who's our starting running back coming off a broken leg, who's on a franchise tag. So he's not even guaranteed going to be a Dallas Cowboy in 2024. Yeah. And then we signed Rojo to a 1-year deal. So do we have our long-term starter at running back right now? No. So why isn't running back a position of need going into the draft? And 2, if Bijan falls to 26, he is 100% the best player available. There's no arguing that. If Bijan is there at 26, he is better than anyone else physically and at his position than anyone else that will be available on the board. So I've been kind of away from Twitter. I haven't been much on Twitter lately.
Yeah.
I did trim some fat on Twitter. I got rid of some accounts that weren't following us back. So you better follow us. And I've been commenting and posting. I was one of those guys that never thought I'd be active on Twitter. And I've kind of noticed myself
It's a fun platform because of the quickness of interacting.
Back. The one thing I will say about the guys I was discussing this with, I'm not going to say arguing, discussing. They brought facts and they brought decent arguments. They never resorted to name calling or saying you're stupid. You run a Cowboys podcast in Canada and think you know everything. They were very informed and they had a lot of great points. But I still believe in my heart of all hearts that Bijan Robinson at 26 is a home run pick.
If he makes it there, I think we agree in this room, and I see people saying online as well, like 15th is probably where he's going to be going max.
I can't see him getting out of the top 15, to be honest.
He and that just goes to show you the importance of a running back like that. Like, you've said it before, I would take Zeke 2.0 today if that's who Bijan is.
At 26.
Yes, exactly. But that's 4 years. Like, we're looking at 4 years.
5, because he'll have a fifth round option.
Sure. But that really doesn't matter because we're not looking for that player. I mean, in the first round, we're not looking for that player who's going to play who's going to be there in 3 years at his top play. We need someone who's coming in now.
Hitting the ground running.
Running back's very important because I think all the tight end as well. On our last mock draft, we drafted
that is not liked that way.
It wasn't liked either.
That was not liked on the Instagram in the Instagram world when we posted that.
And if we come up to, and if it won't happen, but Mayer is there or Kincaid and Bijan, I would say go with the running back. I just feel like I agree. It's a position that gives you about 5 years with the player, so it's not as great as say guard or O lineman, which we could also need.
So, and that is the argument.
Which I think I would be happy with that too, because we're also high on what's his name, McBride.
Dwayne McBride, yeah, which you could get later. There's dudes later on. There is dudes later on.
What other running back would you take at 26? Because Ultra Cowboy saying
Gibbs, maybe.
Gibbs there at 26.
Maybe Gibbs, but I still think that's a little. You know what? I still probably wouldn't even be mad about that if the Cowboys. People are getting in their head that running back's not a need right now, and it's devalued. It is though.
Yes,
it is. And then someone, and this is just on the top of my head, one of the guys was like, name in the last decade any Super Bowl team that had won without a star running back or a running back in the first. So I did. I went back and I looked at every Super Bowl winning team in the last 10 years because I need some ammo to battle these bitches. Well, in 2013, when the Seattle Seahawks won, they had Marshawn Lynch, who was drafted in the top 15, not by the Seahawks, but he was still a first round top 20 pick. Yeah. Then there was also Leonard Fournette, who played for the Buccaneers the year that they won the Super Bowl, who was also a 4th overall pick in the first round, but not by the team that he won the Super Bowl with. He was drafted by the Jaguars. So those were the only 2 running backs that were in the last decade were taken in the first round on Super Bowl winning teams. But I'd say out of the six of the 10 teams, minus the 2, had Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes as their Super Bowl winning quarterback. So that I almost take that as like
it's hard.
It's hard to use that as an argument when obviously the key to success to win a Super Bowl is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Duh. Yeah. But to use a good running back isn't a reason because they haven't been in the last 10 years every year. It's not a top 20 pick in the first round. I don't think that's a good enough argument to not take a guy that's overall 5th, should be like a 5th overall pick, but running backs are devalued so much. Sorry, that was a lot of words.
No, what's interesting is we're doing well compared to last year. Anyways, we've really upped our pre-draft game. I love to just sit at home and do mock drafts. So I'm becoming more familiar with players' names and what's becoming. Now, this, of course, once the actual draft happens, all these things could fly out the window if people start going on a run on guards. Well, that guard that we keep seeing in the second round of Avilia,
I think we got him first actually in one of our drafts. Right? Or did we trade back? What we did take him. We took him as the Cowboys' first pick one time. Yeah. But
there is also Moch Pitt. There's a couple guys in there who it's really all going to come down to the highest potential of affecting the team now, and whatever the equation would be to compare with the need of that position. I did see a good argument online that our O-line they were looking at it under the lens of like the weaknesses, and you could equally look at the strengths and be like, okay, these are things. But they make some really good points with Smith, Tyrone not playing consistently for the last 3 seasons.
He's missed games in every season.
Missed a lot of games, so he's not. We really have to look.
You can't bank on him as being there the whole year,
right?
Much.
But then Tyler Smith can easily, and we saw that last year. He can play that position. So
yeah,
it's guard in my opinion. The only thing I didn't agree with what I'm hearing online is that our center is average. I thought he
had a good season.
I think he's a little bit above average, but again, he might be because he's got Zach Martin to his right.
Right.
So that helps a lot.
One thing I'll say about the whole offensive line thing, if the Cowboys go and draft an offensive lineman in the first, I'm not even questioning it. These guys have knocked out first round offensive linemen out of the park for the last 15 years. So if they take a guy that we haven't really looked at much, I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt that, I mean, they've knocked it out of the park. Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Tyler Smith. Like, these guys have drafted 4 phenomenal talents in the last 10 years or 12 years or 13 years, whatever it is. So if they decide to go offensive line in the first, I'm going to accept it and not bitch.
Yeah. We have a nice little offensive line going on in the chat. Levi's about to take off. Thanks, Levi.
Thanks, Levi.
Appreciate it, brother.
Sore Boy, Ultra Cowboy, who's now back using his actual name, Ultra Cowboy.
With an exclamation.
I like it.
Him and EJ Savage. Oh, he's been coming in as a couple different names every now and then. But EJ and him are both going back about Steve Avila.
Yep.
So Ultra Cowboy says Cowboys will draft one of these 3 at 26. Gibbs, Avila, or Kincaid. Okay. The 26th pick is basically a second-round graded player. If I had to bet money, I would put money on Steve Avila being the player drafted 26. EJ says Avila is getting pushed up boards because of his center and guard flex.
So he's a switchblade.
And then, I like that.
Yeah, and then Ultra says Steve Avila is dominant in pass protection, probably the best O-line in pass protection.
So, I mean, that'd be a good pick. And a lot of people are getting... And possibly he's not there. But if he is, like I said, if we get to the point and the Cowboys draft an offensive lineman, no matter who it is, I'm just going to take it as these guys have done their due diligence. They obviously have a very good system of rating offensive linemen, and you just got to trust the system at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, a couple people in the TikTok chat are saying that there's no way we don't take a lineman and they don't pan out.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah, look, the for me, I know statistically.
No, I want it to be for me. Go ahead. Just trying to do a wordplay. Guess I totally just threw him off his game.
No. I love that prior ad said he tries not to cut you off.
And now I'm fucking doing it today.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Party till I die.
Woo! Okay, what we were talking about, O-lineman. Oh, yeah. For me, the first, second, and third, I know there is a large drop-off in the potential of those second and third rounds. Like, first round is whatever the percentage might be, 30% that they become an NFL star or something like that, right? Or play for X amount of years on the NFL. And the drop-off's pretty radical.
Pretty steep.
However, that's an entire NFL look, and you got to kind of you got to weigh that with how good your front office is, and it might just be specific to a position as well. As you said, front office does very well with picking linemen. So if they're doing that in the second and third round, I would say there's a higher chance with the players that they pick, at least on that offensive line position.
They're using the same metric.
And so I'm confident. I like these first 3 round picks. First 3 round picks for the Cowboys, I believe, all have a higher than normal chance of actually being a quality starter.
Striking gold on an offensive lineman.
Historically, and it's been more recent biased, but I believe the Cowboys have picked very well in the first, second, and third. Now, of course, not with
Tolbert. They got Tolbert. They got so their last 2 drafts. High round picks that have kind of not panned out, and I'm going to give Tolbert. I'm going to say this. He gets a year. He gets another year. He gets another chance.
Because who knows if Kellen Moore just like gave up on him,
right?
And so that could be.
This is the thing, though. As Tolbert, if you can't come into this offense as like a fourth WR4 and get yourself open when you have guys like CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Brandon Cooks in front of you, taking some of the heat away from, like, no one's game planning for Jalen Tolbert. It's just not happening. No. So he's going to have favorable matchups. If he can't find soft spots in zones or beat his man one-on-one when he's playing against the third best or fourth best cornerbacks, this is kind of his best situation right now. If he doesn't do it this year, it's probably safe to say we're going to move on from him.
I think so. But let's say this is a really good opportunity because obviously Cooks is going to move into that 2 position. Well, we were looking at his snaps and he's plays wide on the...
Hey, plays outside
quite often, which is perfect for the combination that we have with...
It's amazing.
CD playing slot mostly. So he's got a position where the defense, no matter even if they have 3 killers on cornerback, they can't leave either one of our 3 wide receivers open or give him any cushion. Because Gallup on another team is a number 2. Well, presumably, let's see how he comes.
See how
he's got to have a bounce back season here.
So that's the thing, and that obviously plays into account for Tolbert. Obviously, you need the other guys to carry their weight, and if Gallup is back to the Gallup we're used to seeing, then Tolbert has no excuse this season, and this is his last chance. So that was last year's kind of flub in the I'll say top 4 picks because that's what we'll say are should be guys that contribute. And then the year prior, obviously 2020. Won the Micah Parsons draft. In the second round, we took Calvin Bossman Joseph, who has not panned out. He's had very unforgettable 2 years to his NFL career. And I think he's basically, depending on what they do in the draft, Calvin Joseph could be a camp cut. There's a very real possibility that Calvin Joseph, depending what we do through the draft, does not make this final roster.
Yeah. Well, look, Calvin Joseph... Big disappointment. I remember I was in Thailandia on my way to some sort of it was 6 a.m. and that news broke where I was.
When they drafted him? No, the shooting thing.
The shooting, yeah. And we were because we were pretty stoked on him after the first season. I think we liked his online presence. He was a rapper.
You were hoping he took that leap.
We were hoping he was going to take that leap.
Kind of the same feeling as how we feel about Tolbert right now. We felt like this about Bossman Fat going into last year.
But then he did that to himself. I don't know how much that whole thing had an effect on his actual season, him playing, because it didn't affect him legally.
No.
When it came out, I was like, oh, fuck, we're fucked.
He's done. He's going to jail for sure. And he was with people that were shot and killed someone. He's going to jail.
Yeah. And
how I felt.
Luckily, whatever. I mean... I shouldn't say luckily because someone died there, unfortunately. But from a Cowboys perspective, he played through the season, and it looks like that's the end of it. I haven't followed up on that case to really know how that ended. So maybe it'll come to bite him. At the end of the day, it wouldn't have mattered because his play was just subpar.
Very subpar.
Yeah.
I have can we see the 2020? I want to see our 3rd round pick in 2020, please.
2020.
Yeah, and get that up on the board here. Actually,
Ultra says Bland erased the Bossman fact.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 2019, we had Connor McGovern who just left.
Bossman mistake.
Okay, look
at 2020's draft.
This is 2020's draft is rough. We're so lucky.
No, 2020 is great.
Oh, sorry, 2020 was the good one. Yeah. CeeDee Lamb, Trevon Diggs, and Biodesh. Great picks, and then Danuch down there.
Yeah.
But so our 3rd round picks have been an issue here. So 2019, McGovern who left in free agency. 2020 Canadian boy Neville Gallimore, who has shown glimpse, hasn't done much as of late. Go up to 2021, where we had
Tony Pollard was a 3rd round in 2019.
He was 4th, and then 2021. Scroll down. Show ad.
Where
2019 Tony Pollard 4th round.
4th round.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is round. That's their pick. But
hey. Right.
They didn't have a first. Right. Who did they give up the 1st round pick in 2019 for?
Amari Cooper trade in 2018.
Yikes.
So go back up. So Neville Gallimore in 2020, and then go to 2021. We had 3 picks: Osa, Chauncey Golston, and Nashawn Wright. So Osa's panned out a little bit, but Nashawn Wright, Chauncey Golston are still kind of iffy. And then
Wright's got that big.
He's got that wind
potential. Yeah. wingspan.
And then 2022, we took Jalen Tolbert. So the third round has been a little bit of an issue for us in the last 5 years.
Yeah, but then let's look at fourth round right after, okay?
Fourth rounds have been yeah, they've been good.
Jake Ferguson. These ones are 2021 not so good with Jabil Cox and Josh Ball. Yet they're still on the team.
Still on the team.
Got to say something about that. Then Reggie Robinson. Who the fuck
He's
is
gone,
Reggie Robinson?
long gone. But Biadash also.
Biadash in 2020, and then 2019 was Tony Pollard.
So not bad. Fourth round's pulled a little bit of the weight.
Fourth round, you might even argue, has been better.
It has been. I think it honestly has. So the third round this year, we're picking at 90. There's going to be some good players still available at 90. And again, it's going to go to what they need more than... I don't know. It's the draft is. I can't wait because, like you said, this is the year that we've actually been paying attention quite a bit. Like the first year we were doing this, I don't even think we did any really pre-draft stuff realistically.
But this is the evolution of the Can Fan podcast here, baby. Hey, did we look at this already? Oh no, Matt Vink sent this to us. The Daniel Jeremiah's draft. Did you want to just have a look at what he said for Cowboys? I thought it was kind of interesting. Obviously, four quarterbacks in the first 5 picks is kind of what we're seeing on everyone's draft board.
They're definitely It's definitely a quarterback heavy draft, which is awesome.
Yeah.
If you're not looking for a quarterback heavy draft is one of the best things, especially if you're picking in the top 10. A quarterback draft like this, people with the top 10 pick that don't need a quarterback, like the Bears and the Eagles, these guys are laughing.
I'm always keeping an eye on what the Eagles are doing because we got to look forward to that. Like, not look forward in a positive way, but we got to look forward in time to be like, because that's our competition in the division. We can beat. What did the Giants do? They just re-signed
Daniel Jones.
They said, we're going to just stay on this line.
Yep.
So, okay, that's great. We can beat the Giants. We know that. Washington
should beat the Commanders.
Should be able to beat the Commanders. So the Eagles obviously are the
they're looking to be the first team to repeat NFC East champion in the last fucking 15 years.
With or without Zeke?
I hope without.
Okay, so Bijan in this draft got took number 14 by the Patriots. I think that's possible. Because
I think that's fair. I think he's going top 15.
I don't know what the New England Patriots need, but I can see them drafting him because of his, he would just...
Very un-Belichick-like, but maybe this is the time that they're like, okay, we're going to have to help our quarterback out here a little bit.
Okay, so let me
Kincaid, Will Levis, blah, blah, blah.
Will Levis being this far down, I don't
Very surprising.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening.
That.
Wow, the Seahawks get Jordan Addison.
So
Hendon Hooker at 23.
Yep.
Deontay Banks, another good pick.
So they got us with Mozzie Smith.
Yeah. So a lot of, actually, I was talking with EJ Savage. Shout out EJ Savage on Twitter.
He's in the chat.
Earlier today. And this is the only guy that's getting mocked out to the Cowboys that he does not like.
What does he like about him?
He doesn't like the fact. Here, I'll pull it up.
And Ultra saying Belichick will not draft.
I kind of agree with that.
As I was saying it, I was like, yeah.
Okay, so these are the 3 points EJ Savage gave why he doesn't think Mozzie Smith is a good pick at 1. One, it's weird because a lot of people are comparing him to a guy like Dexter Lawrence, who came into the league as I think he maybe meant DeMarcus Lawrence, who came into the league as a run stuffer and then developed his pass rush ability, but even he had 10 career sacks. Mazzie's is 0.5 career sacks. 0.5.
Yeah.
In college. 2, don't get me wrong, I like Mazzie, and I definitely could be wrong about him because he does have the athletic profile that can allow him to get pressure and sacks, but I didn't see it enough on tape for me to draft him at round 1. And 0.3 at 26, I feel like you'll have at least 3 to 4 other players with the round 1 grade because other teams will reach for a need, and just don't like the mock on him at 26.
No, he meant Dexter Lawrence for the Giants.
He did? Okay. So, Dexter Lawrence. Okay.
Yeah, well, I meant Dexter, the TV show.
0.5 career sacks is...
I don't like that because it's
pretty low, man.
Well, 4 through a career, it's like, okay.
You can battle through.
You've been through, but 0.5, yeah.
Just
what
your athletic ability alone, crack them if you got them, son.
Well, Ultra saying that Cowboys did a lot of background work on Mozzie at the Combine.
Which he's a big body dude. Let's get him up on Draft Buzz.
Bring him up on Draft Buzz.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, we gotta get some Draft Buzz.
The other thing, EJ saying there's talks of Hooker to the Vikings in the first. If that happens, I really like the Cowboys' chances at getting a first round graded player at 26.
Yep.
Ultra then says if Jalen Carter falls to 12, I give up my 26, 58, 20,
Oh, wow.
24 fourth rounder to move up.
Wow.
What did you say?
If Jalen Carter goes at number 12, which I think that's what he was on. He was
before the news broke about the accident that killed his buddy, he was pretty much guaranteed being the number 1 pick. So, I mean, if he does fall, that a lot of people have been rocking him out to Seattle right now. But anyways, back to Mazzy Smith here, 6'3", 323.
Oh, you got him up? Sorry.
Ultra Cowboy, that's a wild trade, man.
Cowboys used one of their formal interviews on Tyree Wilson.
Yep.
Okay, Mazzy Smith. Okay.
We checked him out before. We've checked
We
him
did.
out.
I remember this face.
And I'm pretty sure we went away from him because we ended up looking at his sack numbers. I'm almost positive that's the reason that happened.
Let's ask next week when we get Dallas Cowboys Chris. Let's ask him because he's a Michigan boy.
Yes, I feel like Cowboys Chris is going to have a very maybe a little bit jaded. I guess it wouldn't be jaded. It'd probably be more biased because he is a Wolverine fan.
Wolverine.
This is what there are some stronger DLs, I believe.
That's a good size, though. I'm surprised you don't
pull me
like
off
him.
for a sec so I can pull up the
Yeah,
big
but look
board.
at his stats,
off.
though. Like he only had 0.5 sacks, man. You need to get a little bit of pressure from that middle of the field.
I'm just pulling up the defensive interiors because
Mazzy did 36 bench presses.
That's pretty good. The guy's a fucking animal.
That's fucking pretty good. I would also be very happy with a defensive interior.
Cansey's fallen a couple times in a couple mocks I've done.
Cansey has not.
Breesy has.
Breesy, and then there's then Mazzy Smith. Okay, I see. But remember, Ika we liked.
He did 34 bench reps.
And Moro Ojomo. I think Moro Ojomo and Kobe Turner.
They fall.
They seem to be around that third round, I believe, is where they're showing up on PFF. So if that's the case, I would be really happy with them. If they missed out on any of these top 3 dudes, obviously Carter's going to be gone. But in Cansey or Breesy or Bressy, I don't know. Is he kind of a half Bessie?
Easy Breesy.
Yeah, he kind of looks like he could be a Bessie a little bit. The only thing I used to hate defensive tackle in the first round, but because it's such a big need in my opinion for the Cowboys, this is like the one year that I'd be like, all right, this is the time. If one of these top 20 guys falls, take them.
Yeah, we got to balance the certainty because I think we're looking at the.
After, toss me one.
I'll toss you one right now.
Toss me one,
Toss me one, son.
Oh, hang on.
Hit up high. We've been out.
Fire that fucking pigskin.
Right over the defender's hand, one-handed catch, and tiptoes.
I thought I had time to soundbite it.
That's okay, as long as you got the soundbite.
Yeah, we need... Crack him if you got him, son.
Only fucking Shakespeare.
We need to get a position that has the highest floor. Even if this, so for example, there might be a player there who were like, man, if this guy could develop into a phenom in the NFL, there's a lot of things that look positive, but there are some obvious weaknesses. Well, in the first round, I'd rather get that more solid player, even if there is that chance of a player who has that like elite position status. They'll be the top 3 player.
Yep.
A Justin Jefferson who just like
Fell
and then emerged as now. Is he the best wide receiver or second? I mean, arguably people
one, 2. You could take him or Devontae Adams, and I don't think anyone would argue with either.
Sure. Yeah. He's certainly up there as like an S ranked player. S for any of those.
S Club 7.
Well, the JRPG fans, that stands for Japanese role-playing games. S is the highest tier above A.
Okay. Really?
Wasn't a JRPG fan.
Huh?
And I never played Final Fantasy or any of that bull.
Oh, that's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Final Fantasy. But getting a player who's going to have that highest potential of certainty of being dominant, that's who we got to go. That's who we have to pick for.
Yeah.
Then as the draft goes on, second round, now I think you can start pushing the chance for that opportunity more. Like, okay, this player runs a 4.2.
Yep.
Okay, so can we do something with that?
Yeah, you go athletic ability. All I know is come April 27th, I feel like we're going to be emotionally charged with the pick. Like, I feel like the amount we've talked about it.
Yep.
Last year we did talk quite a bit about it, but I feel like this year we have a better understanding of more players. Like, we have an overall wider.
We didn't do. We did like. I don't even think we did a mock draft.
Yeah, we did one
on the live.
We're like true.
Yeah, we did one.
We're true. We're true.
You've already been wrong again. I'll pull it up right now, son.
What?
That we did one mock draft live last year. Yeah, because
maybe.
I've looked back at the picks. We took Bijan Robinson in like the 5th round. I was like, oh, the Commanders got him way earlier than that. He's really good. I've literally watched it, so I know.
Maybe it just wasn't memorable for me.
Hey, you're
Wait,
wrong, son.
You're saying we didn't do one?
We did do one. We did one. Here, you guys talk.
No.
AJ, bring up a point.
I'm gonna go delete it right now.
No,
I believe. Hey, sweetie, I believe you.
I do. I think it's going to be.
You don't need to prove it. I believe you. You're wasting time.
We've been acting. Maybe this is wrong because I don't actually know how what the term reporters mean, but I'm going to use it anyways. But we've been very reporter in that we are not doing any of the research firsthand, but we're like soaking up all this secondhand and thirdhand research.
Yes.
And then making opinions based off
Yeah,
it.
the difference this year over last year is that we have people who have been doing the research to come on, talk through it. Their in turn, it makes us excited about it. And then looking at these stats that we're seeing here, like that's part of the research that you're doing.
True, and I will say though that I've not watched a lot of footage or college highlights, but I've watched more than I have this year on players than I have previously. And I know Ant as well. You've been doing a lot of.
Yeah, I've been watching quite a bit. Way more than.
The problem with it is like I'm impressed by everything. So I don't like when a guy. I'm like, okay, so this player looks just as good as this other dude. Like I don't see the. I'm not able to see the intricacies of what makes a player an NFL player or just a really good college
I'm
player.
too into the buzz. I want the hot topic people.
Yeah, your radio DJ drafting.
Oh yeah, I'm 100%. I'm like,
hey, what's the hot buzz? Who's going down in Cowboy Nation?
hey, Cowboy Nation, who are taking to the top 5? Cowboys trade a second, third, fourth, fifth round for the number 1 pick.
I mean, I wouldn't hate, to be honest, if we moved up for someone that we really liked.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I just like, I want something exciting to happen, right?
So do I.
Here's my.
Yeah, like Tyler Smith wasn't exciting last year. Was I happy about it at the end of season?
Yeah,
yes.
but we would have, if we had the same effort or if we gave ourselves the same ability that we have done this year to understand the players more, we might have talked about Tyler Smith more.
Dallas Cowboys mock draft 3.0. So we actually did 3.
Oh shit!
11 months ago. And let me just say something. I would never go through anything to prove someone else wrong, but because Adam's my brother, I had to do it.
Oh, you muted him.
Oh, would you look at that?
Am I back? I'm back.
Is he down?
Is he down?
We got a Niner Gang fan in the TikTok. Just want to say, way to lose in the playoffs.
He said that to us?
No. I'm saying that to them.
Oh, yeah. It's back-to-back NFC Championship game losses. Losers.
Bang, bang, Niner Gang.
And I mean, he might be a nice person. It might not be like most of the fan base that I've interacted with, but anytime I can get a shot at one of them, I will.
Yeah.
One other thing I do want to chat about before we wrap anything up, and is what about...
Give me one more.
What's the needs here that we can do in free agency? Is there anything else that we potentially want to see? Hankins.
Give me 2.
Hankins still hasn't signed.
Yeah, Hankins, and there was that Landry Hat article. I didn't actually read it, but it was saying the Cowboys fans hoping to draft Hankins will be disappointed with this news.
So let's see what they're saying.
So let's read through this, because we've been talking big about Hankins, and if we don't re-sign him, well, now that makes your first round
more of a need there.
Yeah. Crack him if you got him, son.
Yeah, which I do hope they sign him, because even on a 1 year, he just will solidify that position enough that now what I don't want is like five heavy needs in the first round.
Yeah.
I'd rather have 3. And now it makes the decision-making process a little bit more easier.
Well, they couldn't have said this better here at the Landry Hat and Jerry Trotta here. Bringing back Jonathan Hankins would really put a bow on free agency. At that point, the Cowboys could wait until the draft and post-draft free agency frenzy to fill their remaining roster holes, which is true. You get Hankins back in the building. That kind of puts defensive interior it definitely, if you put Hankins into the mix, I think defensive interior can fall back. I don't think it's a first round need. Without him, yeah, it's definitely you could argue taking a defensive interior with the 26th pick.
Look, if I wouldn't be upset about that, even if they did have Hankins, but it would have to be like the scenario where, wow, this guy should have gone at 15,
10 picks ago.
Yeah, even if we, but in that case, I wouldn't have the need being high on DI after that. If again, second, third, whatever round, that there's a player available who can come in, and we think that this is our a player who will be the future.
Yep.
Then I would make a move on that position still.
Yep.
But the need drops pretty drastically because, we've seen what the Cowboys can do when they actually put the pedal to the metal in free agency and start making deals. And guess what? They didn't really spend a fucking dime.
They have the money to sign Hankins. They 100% have the money to sign Hankins.
So what's to say that next year they can't continue to recreate this type of splash? They won't need to go big, and we do have some concerns moving into our own players who are going to be hitting the free agent market.
That's going to be the Rubik's Cube.
Diggs and Lamb.
Parsons coming up.
Parsons the year after.
Like there's definitely you're thinking that. So maybe they're thinking right now, do we just save some money? And this might sound like a dumb question, but I'm pretty sure that money, if you don't use like this year, it rolls into next year. Like if we have $13 million in cap space,
no. I don't think
it does. It's probably like vacation time at corporate America, where if you don't use it within that year, it doesn't roll over.
But there's teams that end up at the start of the year being like 80 million under. I guess that's just the players on the books are 80 million under.
Exactly. But the cap will go up.
It's not like you have X amount of cap space, 256. You didn't spend 13. That's not how I meant it. But when I said roll back, like I don't think that if it's 200 and however many $1 million that the cap is, and you didn't use 13 the last year, you don't now have 263. Like it doesn't do that, but. I guess if you don't sign a player, like if you don't spend $13 million on a player's contract this year, that also goes into next year, you're going to free up space for the following year. That's kind of how I explained it dumb. I agree. Stupid.
But the other thing is like you can plan another, at the rate that the NFL cap is increasing, you can plan for another 20 million.
That's funny.
In cap space each year.
I never thought of it that way. You're right.
So like it's
bookend them. That 2 years ago, a quarterback that like Patrick Mahomes that everyone's like, holy fuck, $50 million a year or whatever.
In 3 years.
Now it's like genius, right? Yeah. Well, it was genius anyways. You're going to pay Patrick Mahomes that no matter what. He's won you 2 Super Bowls.
You're goddamn right you're going to pay me.
Froggy or whatever, or Kermit?
No,
Froggy.
No, he's Kenny Powers.
Yeah.
Fucking Kenny Powers.
Had Spoon Man from Audio Slave.
Before we wrap up, let's go around the room.
Yeah, because this has to be last topic. Ad's got a hard cut at what?
Well, I got a hard out and 8 minutes.
8 minutes?
Oh,
well, 8 minutes. Well, we could do less than that, but that's fine. 8 minutes.
Okay, round the room here.
Round the room. What are your top 3 needs? Just doesn't have to be by round. Just like the top 3 needs for the Cowboys. How would you like to see them draft the position? And let's say Bijan's there for running back.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be running back first round, right? Like.
No, you could.
For me, running back
is our needs.
Yeah, running back going in. I'm going to say first 3 rounds.
Yep.
Leave that open ended. In the first 3 rounds, I do believe that the Cowboys have to target a running back. They have to, whether it be in the first, second, or third. Yeah. The Cowboys have to take a running back in those spots. A running back is still an integral part. So as I was looking at the last 10 teams that have drafted running backs, and if any of them were first rounds, I would say 75% of the teams that drafted their running backs in the second or third rounds. So it still puts value on the position. People that say there's no value in the position, yes, there still is. You still need to draft a running back, a good player in the NFL. It's not like, okay, 6th round, let's just take some bum.
Yeah,
right?
there's no value if you're just looking for a competent NFL running back. You're right. That's pretty deep. But if you're looking for the game-changing running back that can fucking take the top, like I'm not saying that this is what the Cowboys are looking for, but the way that Henry can change a game,
Right.
that's
Second round pick.
absolutely worth. Like you can
100%.
control a game with a player like that.
He's not a good and using Henry and saying, well, he hasn't won a Super Bowl. Why would you draft him? He's not the reason that they haven't won a Super Bowl. They don't have a quarterback good enough, right? But I think running back's definitely a need, whether it be the top 3 positions. Depending if we can sign a guy like Hankins, I would say defensive interior is a very big need. We've preached that pretty hard here, that our biggest weakness on the Cowboys in 2022 was the middle of our defensive scheme. And then the third position, man, you could really go so many ways. But just talking to a lot of fans and you guys even today, I'm going to say offensive line, any position on the offensive line, which is a very broad spectrum, right? You got center, guard, tackle. That's kind of 3 positions. But I'm going to say running back, defensive interior, and O-lineman are 3 spots I would really like to upgrade in the first 3 rounds.
Running back, tight end, O-line, and in no particular order.
Yep.
running back, tight end,
BPA at any given time.
Okay, and I do like both of those.
Possibly, I'd even say quarterback, but I'd say
in top 3 though.
Well, I mean, I don't want a fucking schlub of a quarterback. So
Okay. Dak Prescott, 4th round pick.
yeah,
Tom Brady, 6th round pick.
yep.
I have
You can't put Dak and Tom in the same.
I'm sorry.
Same.
That was bad.
Like, what are you doing?
I think
we could be a Dak apologist for a certain degree, but like that you cannot say.
No. But I'm still. I was just saying that they're both good quarterbacks that were drafted out of the top 3.
And then after you say yours, I got one thing to finally close it out from a chat question.
Okay. I think our consensus is running back.
Yep.
Then I would also go.
And let me just again, before you say that, we're saying running back in the first 3 rounds. That's like,
yeah.
Like
I'm
everyone
saying,
gets so butthurt. Oh, you can't take I'm feeling like Adam Sandler. You can't take running back in the first overall pick.
I'll give you 4 names that could fall in each one of those rounds. Okay. Not saying that will line perfectly for the Cowboys, but they will be in these lines. Obviously, Bijan, Gibbs, Charbonnet, and McBride.
Yeah, definitely.
So any one of those 4, I think, will add the element that we're looking for at running back.
The crazy thing, AJ, there's probably
Roshan Johnson is another name who's
Spears, Miller. There's probably 4 other guys that you could add to that list. Like running back, this is my
availability.
There is availability in the top 3. But who else you got? You got running back.
O-line, I think, is also. But I'm looking more for the guard center hybrid.
You're not thinking tackle. You're thinking interior
because I think Smith is going to flow out. But I wouldn't be mad if I don't think it's smart to draft a tackle specific player.
Right.
Tackle guard hybrid would be the best.
Yeah.
And then finally, linebacker.
I'm
going a little off because we haven't talked about it or focused on it, but
because Bobby Wagner just got signed back to the Seahawks. Is that right?
The Seahawks.
But this is the reason, because we talk about, there are a lot of small linebackers, but they're dropping. And if you can find the linebacker who's like, okay, fine, we're going to play him more as a pure pass sideline to sideline type of linebacker rather than have him go up against big bodies and still 6'1", 230. You're still a big boy. If you're strong, you can pack a punch. But I'm into that idea too.
I don't hate linebacker, to be honest, Alex.
But I think
I just hate Alex.
You keep them more on the kind of receiver guarding side of the linebacker rather than the
run stuffing
or trying to get a sack and
right, kind of a weak side linebacker instead of a middle linebacker.
I think so. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, to close it out, we got 3 minutes here, so it's just a quick lightning round question. This comes from Levi in the chat. Who's y'all favorite player? EJ says, favorite player for me is Dak. Great man outside of the football, takes his job serious, isn't on social media, and constantly gets hate, yet still deals with it all. Ultra Cowboy says Drew Sanders is his favorite. So I want to know,
is this all time or is this current?
Who's your favorite player?
Of all time or current?
He just says, who's your favorite player? It could be
current. I'm going to say current.
Let's go current.
I gotta go with my guy Micah. I mean, when Micah Parsons is on, I mean, that's such a cliche thing to say, but when he's on and you see him dominating, like you see clips, and we got so accustomed to Micah being so good that in the divisional round when he takes that right tackle with his right arm and basically just flips the guy. This is a second-year dude doing that, man. Like, he's only going to get better.
Well, do you
he's
love that-
still
do you
learning the position.
Do you love that tweet from him where he says he first 2 years it was learning. This year,
That's what I mean.
This third year, he's gonna be on a next level.
Totally. I love it. And honestly, he's to me right now, Micah's, and we always make fun of me for loving linebackers. He's a hybrid linebacker, obviously, but he's my guy right now. I really think he's a very, very, very good football player.
Yeah, great pick.
Who's yours?
You know, I can't pick two, can I?
No, that's such an Adam thing to do. Add, we need one position. Well, running back. But
I'm going to have...
muted again.
No. There's another player that comes to mind. I'll throw him in at the end after.
Okay.
Just to wrap it up quick. But Donovan Wilson right now, man.
Yeah, Dono.
I love the way that guy just comes in and fucking smokes people, and just really stoked on him being signed for 3 years now. I believe his contract was...
Yeah, he's an attitude adjuster. He's one of those guys that those hits are just as good as a fucking touchdown or interception.
Yeah.
To rile up people, like him laying the boom, that's just as good.
Yeah. So I'm on the...
I like it. That's a
the
good
Dono
choice.
dub train.
I'm gonna say Bessie stick together. I gotta go Micah Parsons.
What?
Yeah,
That's a bullshit
Okay, so if I
That's cliche. It is cliche. But it's cliche.
Okay,
Fair
enough.
enough.
if
if he's your favorite, he's your favorite.
if I cannot pick the same player, if we can't pick, so I got to pick a different player, which doesn't.
But
this is just an odd
Parsons
rule.
would be, but
Parsons is my first.
just
If
to
I
get a
ca-
third in.
If I can't, I'm just going to do some hand stuff here. If I can't,
He's hand
pick-
talking.
If I can't, then I got to go to my boy Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs is exciting. I'd say Diggs is one of those guys. It's like a home run in baseball. Like when he gets an interception, it's pretty fucking
Primarily,
exhilarating.
don't fucking start throwing me out. Yeah, he hasn't even called us out yet. Primarily because year one we got the
pineapple.
interception train.
Yep.
And year two he was a shut him down defense. So I can't wait to see a blendy. So I want to see half the amount of INTs with the same amount of shutdowns from my boy.
half the amount
Trayvon
from
Diggs.
last year, or half the amount from 2021.
Sorry.
yeah.
So you only want him to have like two. I think what did he have 4 last year? 2.
Not half the amount. Half the amount from year
Didn't
one.
matter. He's playing
Actually,
a different
wait a second.
game, baby.
Was half the
You
amount.
can't even call it year one. That was it. So year one of the Can Fan podcast, but that wasn't his first year.
Anyways, you know what I'm saying.
You know, I know. What
Hey,
you're
we
saying.
all know what we're saying. Okay.
AJ, you had one more. Ad got 2 guys. You get your set. You had a
I
set.
didn't get 2 guys. I just picked a different guy.
It's sad, but it's probably I'll say it now. It's probably going to be his last year as a Cowboy. But Tony Pollard, TP20.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, you guys got 2. Okay.
Hey, yes, if we're hoping so much that we draft a high quality running back in the first 3 rounds, then yeah, this will be. his
Ants
last
can
year
get it on
with
the call.
Yeah, get the call out. Get the call out going. So I'm gonna get my 2. The bandwagon boys over there, fucking beautiful bastards over there. They had their 2. Well, I'm just gonna do this one for my second player.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, baby. CeeDee Lamb is huge to this team. Hey, we will
absolutely.
be back Wednesday night doing mock draft number 6, son. We got Tony Goat Romo, awesome YouTube content creator, Instagram content creator, TikTok. He's a Cowboys content creator. He will be on Wednesday live. Hey, man, we will be back 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Let's go, Cowboys.
How about them boys?